right, Rosie, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, you're on. Not interested? We practiced this. What's the deal, huh? Hey folks, Good Works Tractors here. Today we're going to go over tips for new tractor owners, so stay tuned. All right, Rose, we got to fire this one up and get it out of here. Can you turn it on for me? Hey guys, just having a little bit of fun there. So what we're going to do today is just go over some tips for new tractor owners. And sometimes I think when I have customers that come here or having a conversation on the phone or through email or whatever it might be, you know, there's some of those questions that, and this happens to me too in different applications, where you just feel like it's almost too dumb of a question to ask. And really, I believe in the mantra that there is no question that's a dumb question. You know, ask away, because sometimes what you think is such a simple answer really isn't, and can make a difference on maybe the type of tractor that you want to buy, or the type of attachment that you want to buy, or just change your concept entirely about the intimidation factor, or maybe some other variable that you're considering. So anyway, hopefully these tips help you out, and stay tuned.
Welcome to Good Works Tractors. From snow to mow, Good Works Tractors is the place to go. Shop goodworkstractors.com, subscribe to our channel below, like our Facebook page, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
So it's rather hard to hurt a tractor. However, it's rather easy to hurt your garage. And so I have done that on multiple occasions, both here at the shop and at my house. I've hit the overhead framing of the garage. I've hit the door out here. I've hit the side of the garage. And so maybe that makes me a terrible operator, even though I've operated these things for so long. But you're not going to be alone if that happens. The biggest thing you can do is slow down when you're exiting a garage or when you're entering it. And for me, it's happened one at the end of a long day when I was just really tired, another time when I was in a big rush and just trying to get the equipment in the garage and then get out of here. And so it's really just when you're in a pinch, your attention is probably a little bit all over the place and you're not focusing on the job at hand. So again, it's pretty hard to hurt a tractor. You can do it, but it's a lot easier to hurt something around you, such as a garage door. So keep that in mind. Grease is your friend, okay? And so in the manual, it's going to tell you how often to grease, and a little bit of that is based on the usage of the implement. So with a front end loader or a mower deck, that kind of thing, if you're not using the mower deck all winter, you don't need to grease it every 10 hours that's on your tractor. So it's a little bit of common sense, but grease is cheap and it's easy to apply. Most of these tractors on all of their fittings now are going to have Zerks, and so it's easy just to put it right on there, get the grease in it that you need. It's pretty much a no-brainer and something that you should make sure that you do. So I use this Tacky Red number 2. Pretty much use something consistent on a regular basis there, so you get into a routine. That's the biggest thing. You know, grease is good, lack of grease is really bad. Give your tractor a bath once in a while. Tractors are made to get dirty, so having some dirt and grime and mud on there is just going to happen. It's inevitable. What you want to do though is periodically wash it off. That way you can check the different fittings around the axles, the different pivot points, the loader, the mower, the back end, in the engine compartment, all those different locations. If anything, it's going to give you somewhat of a routine just to check these areas that may just go overlooked for long periods of time, and you'll be able to identify damage or areas of concern where maybe there's a branch stuck here or there, or a mouse nest got into the engine compartment, or you notice that the fittings are dry and they need to be greased, that kind of a thing. So get into a semi-regular routine, whether that's once every 6 months, once a year, once every quarter, whatever it might be. If you're like me, once a week. I'm just saying. So join a tractor forum. There's forums out there for John Deere owners, for Kubota owners, for tractor owners in general, for new and old and small and big and everything in between. And so whether you're looking for advice, if you need help fixing something, attaching something, you want to see tractor modifications, you have questions in general, these are excellent communities full of people way smarter than I ever hope to be, and they know everything about these tractors. And so if you can't get help from a dealer in adequate time, or maybe it's in the evening or on the weekend, again, great places to go. Post your question on there. You're relatively anonymous and you're able to get answers fairly quickly. I'm telling you, it's worth its weight in gold, and it's a big benefit to new tractor owners. Along those same lines, What you're watching now, YouTube, is another great resource. There's some excellent channels out there, mine not included, but we're talking about Tractor Time with Tim, Ritter Bit Will Do, GP Outdoors, and the list goes on. There's just some excellent videos out there, how-tos, demonstrations. If you're considering a different attachment or a different size tractor and you want to see it in action, I'm telling you, just type in a model number or whatever it might be on YouTube and you're going to get a lot of different sources, a lot of unbiased, truthful information there that can help you make a better decision. So if you can't get your tractor to start or your tractor to move, again, take it easy, breathe deep. It's probably a simple fix and it might even show up on the display. So a couple of common things are a lot of John Deere tractors, for instance, are not going to start if they're in range. They're also not going to start if the PTO knob is on. Okay, these are safety concerns and they don't want you firing up the PTO on the mower deck and have those blades spinning right away. And they don't want any chance of the tractor moving around, you know, going forwards or backwards right when you fire that tractor up. And so take your time. It could also be a seat safety switch. Could be a lot of different things that are causing that, maybe even a dead battery or you're out of fuel. And so take your time, think it through. More often than not, it's not a complicated situation. It's more of a simple, quick fix and something you can tackle on your own. There's gasoline and there's diesel. They're both fuel, but you're only using diesel in these tractors, okay? I'm sure there's a gasoline-powered tractor out there, but I don't sell them and they're very rare on the market. So use diesel. And yes, as far as that goes, this diesel is the same diesel that you're putting in your diesel pickup trucks that you can get at most any fuel station around there. So you can use farm diesel in here and save yourself some tax money on that, but be careful. Only use that in your farm equipment. Don't put it in your diesel truck. It is a penalty and you will get fined if caught. Unfortunately, a lot of the used tractors that I buy don't have manuals with them. However, you can get the same manual online. If you Google John Deere 2032R manual, it's going to be the first link that pops up. And you'll go to a full manual, the full online version of what this manual is here, with hyperlinks where you can click on each section on the side tab and go right to that section there and have the same exact copy. You can also print those out, but they're going to have a complete reference of what each component is on the tractor, how to troubleshoot, how to service, and additional information as well. Keep your attachments on level ground. This could be set for 3-point attachments such as a brush hog or a rototiller, or even a belly mower or a front end loader. Level ground is key to the reattaching process. You can unhook your attachment almost anywhere. Unhooking is always easier. It's the reattaching process that can be more challenging. And so if you give yourself a smooth, level piece of ground to work on, you're going to be ahead of the curve and ahead of the game. It's going to make life a lot easier for you. It could be a giant tractor, it could be a tiny tractor. It doesn't matter, this concept applies. Carry your loads low, all right? And so if you're picking up a heavy load of dirt with your front end loader, or you've got a set of pallet forks or a grapple on the front, you've got a log or something else that's a heavy load to carry, make sure you're carrying that as low as possible without scraping the ground. But the lower your center of gravity, the more stable your tractor is going to be. To go along with that, make sure you have adequate ballast weight on the back of that tractor. And you can accomplish that through a ballast box. You can accomplish that through having liquid ballast in your tires, through wheel weights, through a combination of all those things. And so the more ballast weight you have, and refer to your manual, it'll tell you, the better off you're going to be. But again, carry those loads low. Always try to travel up and down a hill versus sideways on a hill. Tractors are not that laterally stable, and so you're going to be a lot safer if you can go up and down as much as possible versus sidestepping a hill. An effective way of counterweight or ballast weight is through the use of a ballast box. So I have a ballast box here that I use on my tractor. It is filled with concrete, and on top of that I have all of these suitcase weights. And so each one of these weights are around 40 pounds ballpark, and so it all adds up to a large amount of ballast weight. However, another way, besides just having dead weight that you can't use but you still have to spend money on, is to get a rear attachment. And so that doesn't always replace the need for additional weight. It is a very good start, and you can get a useful tool such as a box blade, a land leveler, a tiller, something else to go on the back that's going to give you that counterweight you need, but also be a productive tool that you can spend money on versus simply buying weight for weight. If you can find a way, store your tractor indoors. It's going to be a lot better for it overall. a lot less likely for vermin and other animals to get inside the engine compartment in other areas, a lot better for it to be out of the sun, out of the rain, out of the cold on a regular basis, 365. It's just going to be better for the tractor overall. I do try to keep all of my tractors stored indoors. I do have a couple of exceptions on occasion that are stored outdoors that simply won't fit underneath. However, if I had those for long periods of time, I would probably invest in a canopy of some kind to keep it at least out of the sun, and maybe with some sides to keep it out of the wind and out of the weather. There's certain items that are very expensive and not very cost effective to do after the fact. So some of those items you want to make sure you buy with the tractor that you have. Have it outfitted the right way. Don't think you're going to go around after the fact and add them on and it's going to be a cost-effective solution. Some of those items are going to be a front end loader. I know you guys think you find great deals when you find tractors that don't have front end loaders on them and you can go find a used one in the market. Finding a used loader can sometimes be like finding a unicorn. It is very difficult to do. So if you want to have a loader or you think you're going to add one on in the future, you are a lot better off buying a tractor with a loader on it. Another item are going to be tires. Do not buy a tractor that has R4 tires on it and think you're just going to switch them out to ag tires or switch them out to turf tires. Oftentimes you will need to replace the rims as well, and it's a very expensive proposition. Backhoes are another item that I suggest buy with the tractor if you want it. I'm asked every day, it's one of the most popular questions that I'm asked, how much to add a backhoe? Well, backhoes are very, very, very expensive. You have not just the backhoe, but you have the hydraulic system and subframe that goes along with that. I highly recommend, unless you have a major need for a backhoe on a long-term, continual basis, rent yourself a mini excavator. It'll be a lot more efficient and a lot less expensive in the long run. If you want a factory cab with air and heat, you cannot add that after the fact. You need to make sure you buy that with the tractor, whether it's new or used. You better see a cab already on that tractor that has air conditioning and heat, otherwise it's not going to be added later on. I caveat that by saying there is a small subsample of Curtis cabs that do allow for air conditioning. I have not seen many of those. I'm not certain how popular they are. Belly mowers, while not as rare as a unicorn, such as the front end loader, are also a challenge to add on after the fact. The reason being is that unless you go to the dealer and buy a brand new one, finding a used one that has all the right brackets and components that are going to fit your machine is a challenge, to say the least. Most of the time, buyers or sellers that are getting rid of their mower deck don't really know what the other tractor has on it, and so there's going to be something missing that they leave on their machine, and you, as the new tractor owner, are not going to really be aware of what all is needed to install it on your tractor. And so try to get a tractor with the mower deck if you can. The other thing is that these tractors are really low maintenance, okay? So that's one of the big questions I get is how much maintenance do I have to do to these things? And really, besides the greasing, periodically, we're talking oil changes are every 200 hours. A lot of these tractors now are every 400 hours for hydraulic oil. Air filters you're going to clean periodically, that kind of thing. But a lot of homeowners are only going to put 50 to 100 hours on their tractor a year. Some less, some more, but 50 to 100 is pretty common. And so, if you want to get into just one annual rotation of having the machine serviced, that's a good routine to be in. Otherwise, if you go a couple of years before you have to do an engine oil change, for instance, that's not the end of the world. But these, again, are very low maintenance. There's a lot of videos out there, again, on how to do your own maintenance, or you're always welcome to take it into a dealer. Well, so I know that probably doesn't answer all of your questions, and maybe I didn't answer any of your questions, but perhaps for some of you, you found that helpful and a little bit less intimidating now when you're shopping for a tractor, or maybe you just bought one and you're trying to figure out what to do with this thing. And so anyways, if you have any questions or if you're in the market for a tractor or an attachment, let me know at Good Works Tractors. You can check out my inventory at goodworkstractors.com. We can ship anywhere. We ship tractors all over the place. This tractor I'm sitting on is actually getting ready to head to, let's see, it's going to Florida. And that bad boy there is going to Oklahoma, but I'm in Michigan. So again, we do ship these all over. We can ship attachments. I'm happy to work with you. Please take a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind, like my Facebook page, check out goodworkstractors.com, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.